God is creating a family for himself, made up of many different kinds of people from many different kinds of background.
In the Bible, Jesus is often quoted using stories to describe his family.
And one of those stories is about a father and his two sons. And the story goes like this.
Once there was a father and two sons, and one day the younger son came to the father and said,
I have an inheritance coming to me, but I don't want to wait for it until you die. Can I have it now?
In other words, he was just saying, I want you to be dead, Dad.
But the father kindly decided to share the property between the two sons.
The younger son then got together all his money and went off to a distant country. There he wasted it on wild living, women, drinking and drugs. After he was broke, there came a famine in the land and he was in real need.
So he got a job feeding pigs in a field. He was so poor and hungry that he wanted to feed himself on the slops the pigs ate, but nobody gave him anything.
Eventually, he said to himself, my father's hired helps have food to eat and even food to spare. And here I am, starving for food.
I will return to him. I'll tell him,
Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am not fit to be called your son. But will you hire me as one of your workers?
So he got up and returned to his father.
But while he was a long way off, his father saw him on the horizon. He was overwhelmed with compassion for his son.
He got up, ran towards him, and threw his arms around him and kissed him.
The son then began his rehearsed speech. Father, I've sinned against heaven and before you, and I'm no longer worthy to be called your son.
But meanwhile, his father was telling his servants, quick, bring the best robes, my robe, and put it around my son.
Put the family ring on his finger and bring him sandals for his bare feet. Bring the calf we've been saving, let's eat, let's feast, we'll throw a party.
For this son of mine was dead and is alive. He was lost and is found.
So they began to celebrate.
While this was going on, the older brother was in the field working. He neared the house and he heard music, singing and dancing.
He found out that his brother had came home and that his father was throwing a party for him. The older brother became angry and refused to enter the party.
Seeing him on the outside, his father left the party and went out to plead with him, asking him to join in.
But the older brother answered his father and said, look, all these years I've been slaving and I've never had a penny from you, and I've never once disobeyed your orders.
You never gave me anything so that I could celebrate with my friends.
But this son of yours, who wished you were dead, who squandered his inheritance on prostitutes and drunkenness, returns, and you throw a party for him?
And his father replied calmly to his son and said, my son, you are always with me, and everything that I have is yours.
Of course we will celebrate and be glad. This brother of yours was dead, but now he's alive.
He was lost and is now found.
This story tells us there are all sorts of ways to be far off from God.
We can resort to wild living, focusing on ourselves, but we always end up hungry and alone.
Or we can be very religious and do what is expected of us, but end up being self-righteous and alone.
God is inviting us to a party, to a family. Will you enter? Or will you remain outside, looking in?
Now God is thrilled to have us in His family and invites all of us in, no matter where we are, no matter what our background is.
While we were a long way off, He runs to us, embraces us, and welcomes everyone.